We have today with us Mr. Umesh Rathod. He is an author, startup mentor, and ecosystem enabler, and also author of four books. And today we are here to discuss his fourth book, IP to IPO. So, welcome you, sir, for in this podcast.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Namaskar.
Thank you for taking out time and being here. And so, my first question is: you introduce the concept IP to IPO. What inspired you to write this book, and what is the concept intellectual property to
Initial property
basically
of it.
IPO?
So thank you so much, Mrigna ma'am, for having me for this podcast. Um, for last 15 years, I have been part of the startup ecosystem, and I have been a startup founder myself. Coming from academic institute, I have seen the struggles which students, faculties, and the academic institute face while nurturing innovation or entrepreneurship culture. So, in 2017, I released my first book called The Fun of Being in a Startup, which focused on skill part of an entrepreneurial journey. In 2021, while interacting with various students across campuses in India, I came across that entrepreneurial mindset is missing, for which students, need to hone up their entrepreneurial mindset skill. And that time I thought, who is the better person than Acharya Chanakya? So Acharya Chanakya, as I know, is the most resilient person. If you talk about various characters I've read in Upanishads, Ramayana, Mahabharata, I think he's the most resilient character. He has also built a resilient character like Chandragupta and an empire in its own. So I said, if Acharya Chanakya approached doing startup, how it would be. And that's where Startup Chanakya was born. Uh, then it was part of the attitude building, right? The entrepreneurial attitude work, what we call. And then after again, lot of interactions and sessions with students, going from institutes to institutes, interacting with global fraternity. In between, I had an international, visit to Germany and understanding of some Israel startup ecosystem. I said, academic institutes, if we have a lot of faculties who are teaching entrepreneurship, but they have not themselves pursued it in some way, how we can give them some resources to teach entrepreneurship. And that's where startup theories, examples, and activities was born, which was on the knowledge part of it. So we have talked about knowledge, skill, and attitude. And then I thought about IP, which is the patent part of it, which a lot of academic institutes are doing, but we have less commercialization. And when we talk about innovation in the country, we have less number of startups or unicorns for that matter who have patents. So in India, we have roughly 130 unicorns, out of which only 16 have some kind of patent. Yearly, if we talk about, we get grant around 1 lakh patents in the country, out of which around 23,000 patents come from academia. But there was no commercialization pathway.
Correct.
The challenge where we talk about policy for commercialization in academia, which is another hindering aspect for commercialization. And the true value of patent. What is a patent? What value it holds? Because if you see, for last several years in the country, we have lots and lots of academic institutions which have focused on providing jobs to the students. In fact, as we discussed earlier, right, uh, placement cells were started in academia by not any government push, but it was self-developed, nurtured by academic institutes because they wanted more number of students graduate from them. And that's where we missed out on the innovation part of it.
Yes.
So, with the Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell, I hosted one podcast, A Journey to an IPO, Viksit Bharat, in which we had Sri Ajay Thakurji, who happens to be the former SME IPO head at Bombay Stock Exchange. And that podcast clicked an idea that in academia, no one talks about IPO. मतलब हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट्स में सरस्वती की बात होते आई है, बट लक्ष्मी जी की पूजा नहीं हुई है। और तब मैंने सोचा कि नहीं, इस टॉपिक पे लिखने की ज़रूरत है। जैसे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं कि यही समय है, सही समय है। तो मैंने कहा कि नहीं, IP to IPO, डीकोलोनाइजिंग एकेडमिक स्टार्टअप रेवोल्यूशन, बिल्डिंग इनोवेशन इकोसिस्टम फॉर विकसित भारत, ये समय की मांग है। और that's the time when it really started happening. So it took 2 years to work on it. And as we speak, we released it at National Stock Exchange on 11 June 2026. And today, that is, we released at GH Raisoni campus. So it's really an honor. And I think it's a important juncture. The foreword of the book is written by Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar.
जी.
So in startup, we always look at validation. So whether you're building right startup or not should be validated by industry, investors, incubators, buyers, your customers. And I think the validation coming from such an eminent person, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, is a blessing for me.
So you use the term decolonizing of startup ecosystem revolution. What is the exact meaning of decolonization?
राइट सो मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ हमने भी कई जगह पढ़ा भी है कि अंग्रेज चले गए, बट अंग्रेज ही छोड़ गए, या कह सकते हैं वो जो पद्धति है उनकी वो छोड़
जी.
गए। तो अभी भी जैसे हम देखते हैं एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूट्स जो बने भारत में, अंग्रेज जब आए तो उन्होंने बहुत सारे गुरुकुलम तोड़े। और गुरुकुलम मेनली जो फंक्शनरी थे वो जॉब देने के लिए नहीं थे। गुरुकुलम में आपकी कैपेबिलिटीज़ को आइडेंटिफाई करके आपके जो हुनर है, आपका जो टैलेंट है, आपकी जो स्किल है, उसको निखारा जाता था।
जी.
और ये सिर्फ आपके कैपेबिलिटीज़ या आप जो कर रहे हो उसके बेसिस पे नहीं होता था। जहाँ तक मेरी नॉलेज है उसमें एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल एस्पेक्ट्स भी होते थे। बेसिस ऑन योर एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल चार्ट्स, व्हाट कैपेबिलिटीज़ यू हैव। वो सब कुछ तोड़कर नई शिक्षा पद्धति आई, अंग्रेज चले गए। उसके बाद जो हमने शिक्षा प्रणाली को बहुत सालों तक बदला नहीं। और एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूट्स अंग्रेज जब आए थे तो इसीलिए बने ज़्यादातर उन्होंने, ताकि वो डिसिप्लिन हो टू गिव अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर जॉब्स ओनली। सो इट वाज मेनली फॉर जॉब सीकर्स। अब ट्रेंड ये हो गया, जो फैमिली बिजनेसेस थे जिनमें एक लड़का अपने पिताजी से कुछ सीखता था या उनके रिलेटिव से जो सीखता था, उन पर भी प्रेशर बन गया कि वो नॉलेज रियल नॉलेज नहीं है, बट एकेडेमिया में जो नॉलेज मिलेगा वो रियल नॉलेज है। और इसको देखते हुए सारे लोग उस होड़ में लग गए। फिर वो बैंड वैगन बायस, एज वी आर ऑलवेज इम्पैक्टेड बाय दैट। तो सभी लोग फिर शिक्षा पद्धति इसलिए उस तरफ आ गए कि वो जॉब सीकर बनने लगे। तो डीकोलोनाइजेशन का थॉट इसलिए है कि अब वो जॉब सीकर मेंटालिटी से हम जॉब क्रिएटर मेंटालिटी की तरफ जाएं। और जॉब क्रिएटर मेंटालिटी तब बनेगी जब हम शिक्षा पद्धति को बदलेंगे टू सूट। इफ सम बिजनेस फैमिली इज सेंडिंग देयर किड, सो दे शुड टेक ओवर ऑन रनिंग दैट बिजनेस। इफ सम फर्स्ट जनरेशन एंटरप्रेन्योर वांट्स टू डू बिजनेस, तो वो अपनी आइडिया को एकेडेमिया में लाए, एकेडेमिया उसे नर्चर करे, वहाँ का इंक्यूबेटर उसे नर्चर करे, वहाँ की R&D लैब उसे सपोर्ट करे उस आइडिया को आगे ले जाने के लिए। और दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि डीकोलोनाइजेशन इसमें भी है कि जो हम एक वैलिडेशन वेस्ट की तरफ देखते आए। हम इंडियंस हमेशा ऑब्सेस्ड होते हैं कि वैलिडेशन वेस्ट से मिले। मतलब वेस्ट के किसी पत्रकार ने कुछ लिखा, वेस्ट के किसी मिनिस्टर ने कुछ कहा, वेस्ट के किसी लोगों ने किसी चीज़ की सराहना की, तो उसकी सराहना हम यहाँ पे करते हैं। बट हम हमारी खुद की जो अच्छे लोग हैं, अच्छी चीज़ें हम कर रहे हैं। जैसे मशलकर जी से मैंने जब बात की और पॉडकास्ट किया, तो उन्होंने भी ये चीज़ हाईलाइट की कि वी शुड नॉट लुक फॉर बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस, वी शुड लुक फॉर नेक्स्ट प्रैक्टिसेस। सो वेस्ट हमें भले ही थोड़े बहुत बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस दे सकते थे, बट आप दुनिया को देखिए कि आज USA 5% पॉपुलेशन दुनिया का 25% एनर्जी कंजम्पशन कर रहा है। तो क्या हम बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस वहाँ से ले सकते हैं? आज जब हम सस्टेनेबिलिटी की बात करते हैं तो क्या वो चीज़ें वो पद्धति हमारे वेदों में, उपनिषदों में, हमारी प्रोसेसेस में नहीं है, वो पहले से ही है। तो हमें डीकोलोनाइज एकेडेमिया करने की ज़रूरत है, जिसमें हम बात कर रहे हैं कि फैकल्टी, स्टूडेंट्स जो एकेडेमिया में है वो स्टार्टअप कर पाए, उसको नर्चर कर पाए और जॉब क्रिएटर बने।
Okay. And sir, India has witnessed remarkable growth in startup ecosystem in last 1.5, 2 decades. But yet, there is a very small fraction comes from universities and academic institutes. What is the reason and how we can do something in that part?
Very important question, ma'am. So this is where the book is mainly anchored. ये बुक एग्जिस्ट करती है क्योंकि ये प्रॉब्लम है। एकेडेमिया में मैं स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ की बात करूँ तो बहुत सारे स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी में माइंडसेट ये बन गया है कि स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी जो गवर्नमेंट सैलरी मिल रही है उसके बियॉन्ड आप कुछ अर्निंग सोर्स रख नहीं सकते। द फियर बिटवीन फैकल्टी इज यू कैनॉट डू बिजनेस, यू कैनॉट हैव योर ओन एंटिटी। पिछले कई दशकों से जो इन्वेंशंस भारत में हुए, इट वॉज नॉट एबल टू सी द डे ऑफ द लाइट। वाई? क्योंकि उन पेटेंट्स को कमर्शलाइज करने के लिए फैकल्टीज को एम्पावर नहीं किया गया। फैकल्टीज को आज आप देखेंगे जो ऑथेंटिसिटी, जो रिस्पेक्ट, जो आदर सम्मान मिलना चाहिए, जो उनकी कैपेबिलिटीज़ है इतने सालों के रिसर्च के बाद, वो मुझे पर्सनली कहीं ना कहीं कम लगती है। क्यों कम लगती है? क्योंकि उनकी कैपेबिलिटीज़ को हमने अंडरमाइन किया, हमने उनके लिए पाथवेज नहीं बनाए। आज आप किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में प्रोफेसर शुरू करते हो, आप असिस्टेंट प्रोफ बनते हो, आप एसोसिएट प्रोफ बनते हो एंड इफ़ यू गो अहेड यू बिकम एमेरिटस। बट व्हाट इज़ द पाथवे? जो इतने सालों की रिसर्च है, जो NRF या किसी भी रैंकिंग के लिए जो पेटेंट हुए, वो उनको कमर्शलाइज क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे? क्योंकि आप उन्हें पेटेंट को कमर्शलाइज करने के लिए, बिजनेस एंटिटी करने के लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं दे रहे। आज IIT मद्रास टेक्नो कमर्शलाइजेशन में भारत में 1 नंबर पर है, मैं कह सकता हूँ एशिया में भी। उसके बाद कुछ और IITs हैं, IIT बॉम्बे है, उसकी केस स्टडी हम इस बुक में हमने लिखी है। सेडेमैक करके एक स्टार्टअप है IIT बॉम्बे का, 2004 में एक प्रोफेसर ने शुरू किया था, आज इस साल उसका IPO निकला है।
Incubated in Sign IIT Mumbai.
इंक्यूबेटेड एट साइन IIT मुंबई। सो इंक्यूबेटर का रोल भी उसमें दिख रहा है। तो जब ये सारे इश्यूज है फैकल्टीज को जो रोके रखते हैं
जी।
दूसरी चीज़ है एडमिन वर्क। एकेडेमिया में मुझे लगता है फैकल्टीज के 3 रोल होने चाहिए। मतलब एकेडेमिया शुड बी डिवाइडेड इनटू 3 वर्टिकल्स। 1, रिसर्च ड्रिवन फैकल्टीज जिनका काम हो रिसर्च, उन पर ज़्यादा एडमिन रोल और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ ना हो, वो ज़्यादा टीचिंग में भी ना इन्वॉल्व हो, क्योंकि रिसर्च मेरे लिए इन्वेंशन के बराबर है। और रिसर्च अगर पेटेंट बेस्ड हो तो और बढ़िया सर, पब्लिकेशन बेस्ड ना हो सर, क्योंकि ज़्यादातर हम पब्लिकेशन में चले गए हैं। तो वो फैकल्टीज़ को इनोवेट करने के लिए मेडिटेटिव थोड़ा होना पड़ेगा। मतलब अगर आप कुछ नई रिसर्च कर रहे हो, नया इन्वेंशन कर रहे हो, जब तक आप फेल नहीं होगे तब तक आप कुछ नया कर नहीं सकते।
True.
और रैंकिंग के चक्कर में, अप्रेजल के चक्कर में सब आप
They can involve their good students as well.
as well, exactly. So when they collaboratively do it, I say not
जी.
only one faculty, it could be pool of faculties from that research vertical who can focus on that. The second pool of faculty should be which focuses on teaching more. So वो एग्जीक्यूटिव प्रोग्राम्स रन करें, आउटरीच करें, एंटरप्रेन्योरियल इकोसिस्टम डेवलप करें, इंडस्ट्री कोलैबोरेशन करें। तो इसमें उनका ज़्यादा समय जाए और उनकी रुचि भी हो, जैसे प्रोफेसर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस वर्टिकल है, सो दे कैन इन्वॉल्व इंडस्ट्री टू ब्रिंग कैप्स्टन प्रोजेक्ट्स, इंडस्ट्री प्रोजेक्ट्स, दे कुड बी एक्सचेंज ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स एंड इंटर्नशिप्स। एंड आई थिंक थर्ड वर्टिकल जो सबसे ज़्यादा मुझे लगता है कि एडमिन टास्क जो हमने बेस्ट फैकल्टीज़ को हायर तो कर लिया है, बट उनको एडमिन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ दे दी हैं। अब एडमिन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ की वजह से वो ठीक से जो इनोवेशन है उसका निर्वहन नहीं कर पा रहे। जो फैकल्टीज़ को और एम्पावर करना है नए इनोवेशन पैराडिम्स में वो नहीं हो पा रहा है. So admin role should be given to non-doctorate or a post graduate who
Those
has
who
a
are
PG.
not
Not a
interested in
doctor.
innovation
No, no.
and
Give to someone who is not a doctorate per se, who can do your annual day summits, meetups, all these things. Many institutes in India are following this. I think
जी,
it has to percolate to all institutes where they think of. So this will declutter academia में faculties का time to innovate and focus on novel research. So that is one very important aspect. The other aspect is, as you rightly said, a lot of 20% of DPIT registered startups are coming from academia. So 2,20,000 startups are currently registered. So now out of this, most of them are student-led startups. These are deep tech-led startups. Now many student startups also fail because they don't have that much time, bandwidth to execute. If you're talking about engineering colleges, they are here for 4 years. जब तक वो होश संभालते हैं कि वो इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में आ गए हैं, तब तक सेकेंड ईयर आ जाता है.
जी,
उसके बाद उनके पास बहुत कम समय बचता है टू मे बी पिवोट, मे बी फेल एंड रिवर्क. और ग्लोबल डेटा ये कहता है कि योर फर्स्ट स्टार्टअप विल बी ऑलवेज अ फेलियर, मोस्टली अ फेलियर. योर सक्सेस in startup comes in your third or fourth trial.
yes,
So maybe your third or fourth startup might succeed. And there is also some age brackets, but let's not get into more into it. But generically, I think we should have a vertical where students and faculties are given that bandwidth to do deep tech startups, to do startups which can create more jobs.
correct, sir. So, in many innovators feels like the patent filing is the last destination for innovation. How we can change that mindset? Like commercialization is also one of the aspect.
राइट. सो जैसा मैंने कहा कि पेटेंट आपके स्टार्टअप जर्नी में पहली सीढ़ी है. पेटेंट आपको कॉन्फिडेंस देता है, वैलिडेशन देता है कि आपके पास एक ऐसा प्रोडक्ट हो सकता है जिसकी थोड़ी कमर्शियल वैल्यू हो. अगर आप इसको कमर्शलाइजेशन तक नहीं ले जाते, दैट मीन्स यू आर डूइंग इनजस्टिस टू योर इंटेलेक्चुअल एक्यूमेन. और आज सारी चीज़ें आपको करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. गवर्नमेंट के ग्रांट्स है, इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर्स है, स्टार्टअप सपोर्ट है, एमएसएमई उद्यम रजिस्ट्रेशन पे आपको इंटरनेशनल पीसीटी पेटेंट फाइलिंग, इंडिया में डोमेस्टिक पेटेंट फाइलिंग के लिए ग्रांट्स अवेलेबल है. कमर्शियल पाथवेज में एकेडेमिया नहीं कर पाया है या बहुत कम कर पाया है क्योंकि आईपीआर पॉलिसी ना होने के कारण, टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर ऑफिसेस ना होने के कारण. What happens mainly is faculties who do patents in academia, everyone is looking for growth. So when they do patent, academic institute becomes the patentee and inventor is the academician.
Yes.
So if they go for greener pastures for some other institute, that patent is lost. And that has been happening for last 40, 50 odd years.
Yes. And is it important always whosoever is innovator, they should commercialize?
No. So coming to that, yes. See, commercialization के multiple pathways है. You can license your product.
जी.
So there are industry associations whom you can approach. There is National Research Development Corporation. There are private players in the country. There are incubators. Venture Center Pune in Maharashtra is there, which helps in technology commercialization.
जी.
So there are many such ecosystem players which are helping you to do that. What I think is largely faculties don't have the bandwidth or the knowledge that beyond patenting there is an opportunity to license. So I see there are three pathways. One, the licensing. You can commercialize it, like you can do complete tech transfer, and then you can do your own startup. Right? If you don't have bandwidth for startup, at least look for commercialization through tech transfer or licensing at least. And there are many examples of foreign faculties who have commercialized their ideas and who have made good amount of revenue out of that. I mean, like we have great scientists in the country
Yes.
who have also done that. So that awareness, because what I've seen is a lot of IPR sessions and all focus on the types of IPs and all that, but they end over there. नीपाम स्कीम के जरिए भी हम वहाँ तक ही पेटेंट ऑफिस से पेटेंट तक ही बताता. So we don't have as a traditional or a national body which is focusing purely on commercialization. NRDC is doing that, but they are doing it at their humble space. And it's an apex body based in Delhi. So they don't even have much satellite centers too. So going forward, I think academic institutes can build their own TTOs.
Sure, sir. And government initiatives such as Startup India, Atal Innovation Mission, National Education Policy are there. They strengthen the ecosystem, startup ecosystem of India. Plus, they strengthen the academics as well. But do you think there is any flaw, or what should be the addition in these policies so that the vision of
Viksit Bharat.
Viksit Bharat 2047 can be
Yeah,
achieved?
right. So we have a lot of national startup missions going on, national missions going on, and the book somewhere captures the essence of those as well. There is no synergy between the flow of information of various schemes available at the center. And I think the issue could be at both levels. One is the academic institute needs to be always having an update on that. So maybe the incubators can help push that information to the academic institute. Other way around could be outreach program from the apex bodies themselves. They are doing that at their humble space, but I think the kind of vast ecosystem we have, it's very difficult for any government department to reach to that last mile. I always give example of Maggie, ITC, where you go on any mountain and you are at the edge of the mountain in Himalayas, but you will still get it.
True. Yes.
So how they are able to do it and we are not able to do that is a question we need to ask. And if they are able to do it, why cannot we utilize those supply chain, that value chain created to build it? So I see a disconnect between various schemes. Many people are trying to do same stuff, but there is no synergy. And that has impacted a lot in terms of doing a last mile, information dissemination, because a lot of faculties who have potential, students who have potential, communities who have potential are not able to leverage those resources. For example, if I am a XYZ incubator, I'll not name a government incubator in, for example, Assam, and I'm looking for drone startup. There is high possibility I will not find a drone startup over there for XYZ scheme, but there could be some in other metros or tier 1 cities. So how you bridge that gap, that fund which has been allocated can be utilized for the demand coming from, that. And third could be, the challenge for this is, if I'm a startup from Maharashtra and registered in Maharashtra, I cannot leverage scheme from Gujarat. But now Gujarat has come up with a document and scheme for that specific startup. So there is this big linkage missing across the states, where then I have to register a startup in Gujarat, then I have to as a founder. So should I focus on building my product or service, or keep registering startups in every other place?
Different state, yes.
And so this has impacted a lot, and this has been happening for several years now. So that has to be addressed, and I think if we can have one nodal center from Startup India mission in every district and every state of the country, it's not very difficult. You can appoint any institute, and they can keep on having weekly programs running on dissemination of this information.
So technology is rapidly evolving, and there are some sectors like artificial intelligence, deep tech, biotechnology, and many more, clean tech,
tech.
climate tech, and all that. So, in your view, what would be the next revolutionary thrust area
Yeah.
in startup ecosystem, basically in India?
It's a very difficult question because these all things are intertwined. Like AI could be everywhere, because I see AI not as a, I see as a Word document, Word software. It's a tool. So it's not actually a tech for me. AI can be implemented in every other thing. But the way I see Indian ecosystem rising, I see two, three potential, streams which can have high demand. Is obviously without question health. So health tech is something which is booming. We have the most affordable health services globally, right?
Yes.
You want to do knee replacement, India is the hub. And you can ask any of your colleagues across the world the amount of time they have to wait for even dental checkup, right? Where foreign doctors see 90 to 100 patients in a week. Our doctors in any hospital, given an average, see around 2,500 to 3,000 patients, right? So the cost of health is cheaper, the health tech or the med tech services. So that is obviously going to be there. Second, I see a big opportunity for India as a South Asia hub for MRO business. So maintenance, rolling and overhaul of airplanes, where government is now also focusing on.
Ji.
And we have a huge pool of airplanes going to be, deployed. The orders which were placed several years back, so we're waiting for their delivery. So India is going to become the MRO hub. So we need courses, we need manpower, we need good skilled labor in that space. Then we have completely forgotten the blue economy. So 7,500 kilometer coastline, which we are blessed with, we will see a lot of shipbuilding activities coming up, a lot of yachts, private yachts, all that ecosystem will hone up. The way per capita GDP will rise as we move towards Viksit Bharat, people will start watching for these kind of
Marine tech
things.
can be one.
So marine tech could be one. And apart from that, obviously, when you talk about, and having said that, we will also have a lot of DPIs. So digital public infra coming from government, DGPI or DPGI.
Ji.
So we have DG Yatra, it's a great example. Likewise, government is having Saral AI for researchers in the country. Started with ANRF, right? Anusandhan National Research Foundation. So likewise, every government department is focusing on making lives of citizens better. And I think, that is another segment where a lot of energy and investment will go.
So, sir, many startup founders, those who are deeply involved in innovation ecosystem, what are the three mistakes they generally do and how they can, avoid these mistakes?
So the first common mistake is building a product or service where there is no market need. कॉलेजेस में भी ये नोशन होता है कि मैं अगर फैकल्टी हूँ, मेरा कोई स्टूडेंट है, जो वो कर रहा है अच्छा ही कर रहा है, हम उसे आईना नहीं दिखाते सही समय.
Even founder feels like जो मैं कर रहा हूँ वो सबसे अच्छा है. They don't
Exactly.
need mentors.
So that's a founder's bias or anchoring bias. We can say that what I think is right.
जी.
So how you see any problem, whatever you're solving as a third person from the customer's perspective is really important, from the stakeholder perspective. Be it academia, where students are the center point, be it startup, where your customer is the center point, be government, where your citizens are at the center point. So you need to think from their perspective. And those who reach out to their customers better are the winners, who understand the voices, what is the need of the demand. What is
So
that
they have
really?
to discuss their ideas and innovations with people?
Absolutely. I think when you discuss your ideas, you get inputs, you get co-founders, you get investors. Without discussing your ideas, it's very difficult. So second, I think the challenge with founders is not able to share their ideas properly.
So general mindset is they feel like somebody will copy their idea. Is it possible to copy the idea?
It's not possible to copy the idea. It's not possible to copy the idea. We have good examples in that way. See, I'll give an example of Google here. Google was always there. We always saw it as a search engine, right?
And all services are free.
All services are free. We always assume that nothing is free.
Maximum, yes.
Nothing is free. There are hidden things. But when you look at ChatGPT,
Ji.
today every other student is asking all questions to ChatGPT and other tools which are again free of cost, but they have asked checked upon the status quo of Google, which was not done earlier. Like many search engines failed. But here is ChatGPT, here are other pioneering AI apps which are doing that. So, like Acharya Chanakya built Chandragupta to question the status quo of Dhananand, I think every startup which is agile and adaptive has an opportunity to challenge the big players in the market. And they can definitely capture a good market share. So, what startup founders need to do is, for example, last 15 years, I must have heard about 3,000 pitches. But I'm not running all those startups. And why I'm not running all those startups? Because I'm not passionate enough to solve those problems. So I might hear the best of the startup idea, which could be a unicorn idea, but I will not get into it because I'm not passionate enough to solve it. So for startup founders, it's the hunger, it's the problem-solving attitude, it's a go-getting thing which comes from within, that this is the problem I'm solving and I'm ready to give up everything which I have to achieve that. So that's the second thing, right? To building that. The third thing which startup founders, are not able or go wrong, could be, not having an awareness of the processes through which you register your startup, or the methods by which you pursue your investment strategy. So a lot of startup founders might directly give away some equity without knowing if there is some grant available or not. We have a great example, Zerodha, which is bootstrapped even today. So not all businesses require equity-based funding at the start. There could be grant and there could be, an investment coming later. But today, when you are driven so fast with getting funding and all, so I see academic, especially student-led startups who are hungry to go for equity-based funding on the day one itself. I think that is something which they need to look upon, because if you give away your equity early, so then it becomes troublesome in the long run.
Okay. And sir, if you would like to advise any academic researcher, what would be the roadmap for them to go from library to the market?
Okay, so that's an interesting one. I think we talk about it in the book as well. We have a template not only for academic research, but for our institute itself, how you can look at techno-commercialization and what could be the pathways. But if I talk about researcher, I think in academia, the PhD topic, when you talk about research oriented, research is a very immersive process. 5 to 6 years minimum time is taken by the researcher. But the drive to convert that research into entrepreneurship is missing. Now, why at the initial stages of research we don't interact with industry to gauge whether it has some commercialization potential? The topic of PhD is discussed between the guide and the researcher, and that's how it's finalized. But when you talk about Viksit Bharat, where is the nation in this? Is that research, is that funding coming from the government? If that institute is funding, if it's even self-funded, whatever money for 4-5 years you're investing, how it is going to percolate into building the nation? How that research after 3-4-5 years is going to be, realizable or having some meaning?
So it should be a need-based research.
Absolutely. So it starts with that. Even if it's for publication, we are talking about market, but even if it's for publication, it has to be need-based. A lot of patents coming from academia are not commercializable because there was no need. It just went through the bias of the inventor. So he or she thought that I should make it because I have these resources and because I think I have this XYZ, idea. But it was not validated in the market. So I think the start for any researcher should be, any PhD guide should be to tell the researcher to validate the problem statement they are selecting for their research. And once they do that, I think, in fact, before going for publications of any research which they do, from especially the public funded institutions, they should interact with an IP attorney to see what is the patent or IP value which can be created from this. And once they have insight on what kind of IP can be created, they should file a patent. Because once you do publication, once you write anything on social media, once you write your title or whatever, if it's out in public, you are losing your patent value. Because once anything is in digital platform online, it gets discarded by the patent office. So first clarity should be that what IP value I can create from my research. And what are the different IP values? Not only one, what could be the various parameters which I can look at. Then once it is done, I think going forward, if industry is validated, the advantage is you can get funding from the industry also. Right? So in India, only 0.7% of research funding comes from government. If you are looking at PhD from foreign, you will have a topic given by the industry. You will have a mentor assigned by the industry from that institute, and an Indian might be flying down over there to solve that problem. Why we are not able to build that ecosystem here?
In our country.
So until and unless there is need-based research, I think everything boils down to starting point. When I say why you are doing it.
Yes.
So until and unless we are asking why, and it's not a strong why, or it's just for, we want to get it done.
What problem we are solving.
What problem we are solving. And that has to be connected to the, Rashtra Sarvopari nation building, because if that is not coming into nation building in some or the other way, I think their PhD topic does not make sense. So it has to start from there. And then I think there are many pathways. So once you have IP, you can do provisional patent, you can go to investors, you can also parallelly start building your startup. So when Professor Ram Gopal Rao, who is a VC of BITS now, he was the director of IIT Delhi. He had started PhD Drive. And now he has come up with 4-5 other types of PhDs. PhD for social impact, PhD for research, PhD for commercialization. So we need to have these pathways.
Ji.
We haven't thought of this. Right? And that's where that faculty of teaching comes into picture, to collaborate with industry, get problem statements from industry, and have next generation of PhDs which are need-based. Until that happens, we will not see much of commercialization from the R&D which we are doing.
Okay. So, sir, my final question to you is, what is your vision for Viksit Bharat 2047? And what message you want to give to researchers, students, and obviously faculty members?
So, if I had to sum it up in one line, it is, यही समय है, सही समय है, भारत का अनमोल समय है, असंख्य भुजाओं की शक्ति है, हर तरफ देश की भक्ति है, तुम उठो तिरंगा फहरा दो, तुम भारत के भाग्य को फहरा दो. और this is the right moment, because we have the demographic dividend. This will soon become, a liability to us, because by next 10 years, 15 years, we are going to start getting old. So if we are not decluttering the life of innovators, startup founders, mentors, coming from academia, coming from deep tech startups. So we have a lot of traditional businesses. But when I look at academic institute, it has to be deep tech startup. It has to be on core technologies. And that's where the government Research Development Innovation Fund is also anchored. So this is the right time to think how institutes can empower their faculties truly by allowing them to do startups, to empower their students who are visionaries, who might not be good great scorers who might be backbenchers, but do they have the potential to do business? As per World Bank CEO report, in next 10 years, 1.2 billion jobs are required for developing countries. Only 420 million jobs are identified. 800 million jobs don't exist. If we are not leveraging the schemes of government for startups from MSMEs, and we are not doing startups, we are doing injustice for the upcoming generations in the country, because only deep tech startups can create those new technological enabled businesses of the future. Today, they might be startups. By 5 years, 10 years down the line, they are the businesses. Look at Skyroot, right? Look at Zoho Enterprise. So many businesses are nuclear energy, right? Nuclear energy is now democratized. Students, startups can harness nuclear energy in the country. So the government is doing all sorts of efforts required to make it accessible to the people. I think this is the right time for us to leverage that and contribute our, as in Yagya we say Ahuti, to make Viksit Bharat 2047 a success.
So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for enlightening us and giving us time for this podcast. And it was wonderful having you. And definitely, this book will give to a new generation. This book will give a different mindset. They will research and they can commercialize their research, and
So
these
ये
researches will go till IPO.
जैसे धुरंधर में कहा है, ये नया भारत है, ये पेटेंट भी करेगा और कमर्शलाइज भी. Thank you so
बिल्कुल.
much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.